Hello everyone, how are you? Okay, so today what I thought we'd look at, we'd have a go at transcribing a tune called Blackthorn Rose by Weather Report from the Mysterious Traveller record. Not sure how familiar you are with this piece. When a lot of people tend to focus on Weather Report for around the sort of black market heavy weather period, because it's more funky and it had Jack Pistorius in the band and that sort of thing. But some of those earlier records, you can kind of see where they were going, where they were just looking to sort of break down some of the barriers between, just not just jazz and rock, but modernism, classical music, and some of that sort of it actually comes across in the piece. I mean, I actually got into them, sort of quite a few years back, because I was started out being a rock player, and I was getting a bit fed up with just the usual stuff, and then of course I gradually picked up the records, but then it's when I heard that Blackthorn Rose for the first time, where it's just piano and soprano saxophone, and the thing is that even though they were a jazz rock fusion band, and they were sort of sounding quite heavy at times, they never used electric guitar on those albums. So they were sort of they substituted that for saxophone, and so there's something to be said, particularly for Wayne Shorter. I mean, I actually prefer a lot of Wayne Shorter's phrasing compared with, say, John Coltrane, because he seems a bit more restrained there. And also Joe, now do you pronounce it Zorinal or Zavinal? I'm not sure, I've got a feeling it might be pronounced Zavinal, but the piano, a lot of those tracks on those records, they're really sort of restrained and underplayed, resisting the temptation just to sort of noodle and fart around, basically, for want of a better expression. But when they actually do go for it, it's a lot more powerful, So anyway, so there's this track, Blackthorn Rose, which is sort of it's linking pentatonics, most of them melodic minor, particularly the diminished whole tone scale, things like that. A bit of scale stacking going on as well with some of the things, and some very clever modulations, but just really tightly played. And I mean, I'll post a link to the actual track below, and then you'll be able to make up your own mind on that. So okay, so I don't think I'm going to get through all of it, but I'm just going to give you some of the main highlights. So we start out because it's in B flat, so it kind of the piano plays a chord. Yeah, the piano starts with this chord. Yeah. So when B flat's a good saxophone key as well. Now, it's also good. It's a good one for actually practicing in some of the odd keys, in the flat keys that the saxophone plays in. Because we guitarists we can sort of, I don't know, favour certain keys over others, but if it's actually start learning in those flat keys, then we can actually pick up a lot as well. So it starts out, it's the sax part. I mean, I'm going to mainly be transcribing the sax part, but B flat pentatonic, and it's so. Right, so we're going. Now that's first position pentatonic. Yeah. So there's a bit of a jump then, and then another jump here, and then we drop back to. So he's doing that. He's being quite clever. And that sort of bookends the introduction. There's a little bit more piano. and then it goes into this sort of quite clever modulation. So we're going down here. We're in that's E flat. So it's probably E flat Dorian, but it's like some sort of E flat minor scale. It's ambiguous which one it is. Yeah. And then we change that to a major third. And then drop down into a Phrygian. And then there's all this sort of really nice chromatic work comes in. Now I'm trying to approximate to it, but it's very, I mean, I'm not sure how much of it is actually written and how much of it is like sort of improvised. Oh, so, well, we could even go. And then we're setting up for that the next part, which then moves into like F. And then we start going. We go into this sort of, it's like a diminished sort of thing, but it's very modernist sounding. So we go back to on B flat. So rather than doing that ascending pentatonics here, we do this. Right, so that's wrong for a start. And then it drops into that arpeggio. So I'll try that again. So that pattern is. And then move it. So moving up in a minor third. Yeah, so you just want to practice doing that. And then we just going up a scale. And that's because we built up all that tension, so we're just doing this. I'll play that down here. So that's like a G minor arpeggio. But then we play this note here, E flat, and slide it to D. Yeah. And then there's a little bit more sort of chromaticism from the saxophone. And then next we're going to go into this. There's a bit more like there's a bit of piano linking the parts, but I'm skipping a few bits out here just to give you just give you throw some ideas out of that, because they're so different to guitarists. You know, it's a slightly different way of thinking. So the next bit I'm going to give you is this bit. It's like this pentatonic. I'll put it again. Though I admit that's it's a bit of a stretch, because you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. playing over 6 frets. And then we drop it down to F. And then we do this sort of. So from there we can just like. We could do that. Or we could drop. We can be more chromatic with it. Yeah. And then there's this other little bit. Yeah, and then so a lot of it's just like seems to be once you actually know the pattern of it, a lot of it's just these variations. And what Wayne Shorter is doing is he's putting in these little chromatic runs there. You know. Yeah. So yeah. So I know I sort of glossed over a few parts there, but I think there's a lot to take in with this. So have a listen to the piece. Like I say, I'll post a link below. Have a listen to the piece, because I just think it's important to actually. I mean, my reasoning for when I started getting into Weather Report was, like I say, I was getting a bit fed up of like playing the usual, and I was thinking that because they deliberately said, right, well, in our band we're not going to have an extra guitarist, we're going to have a saxophone instead. So if you start transcribing saxophone lines, then you're going to be a bit more unique in what you're doing. You're going to have like some of your own guitar knowledge from your influences, whatever. I mean that, for example, that where is it? That. Now, I used to play it differently. I used to play it like that, which is more like Kirk Hammett, but it's not Kirk Hammett. It's more. Because then that gives us, like, say we've got like some sort of pentatonic patterns to play around with. Yeah. 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 And so on and so on. So I think you'll find the more you're practicing these things, the more you're thinking, right, well, what is he most likely to be using? It's like, and it's probably like some combination of pentatonic, most of the melodic minor, particularly like the diminished whole tone scale, or maybe it's just some straight Dorian stuff, you know, and a lot of it's off the cuff as well, you know, because like I mean, there's this whole thing about what Weather Report were doing, you know, there's this famous phrase where they say, "Oh, we never improvise, we always improvise." So a lot of the time it was just this back and forth between Joe and Wayne, and I believe this actual piece, it was originally, you know, this Blackthorn Rose, it was originally rejected because Joe was thinking, well, actually it's a bit too predictable, it's a bit too sort of bebop. What we need to do is like just cut it down a bit, and we'll have something really, really special. And you know, and I think one reason why they never done it live was because of the actual feel that they got into that piece. But so it's you know, it's one thing learning scales and stuff, but it's another thing actually just sort of taking passages from these things and actually getting it to the point where it's more instinctive playing rather than more technical playing, if you know what I mean. You know, so you're playing more instinctively. This is something that only actually comes, you know, with experience. Unfortunately, it's not something that you can like. It's not. You may not get it overnight, but you know, it's worth pursuing. It's a really good skill to have. You know, to have that sort of, you know, relying more on instinct and on your ear, you know, than actually, oh, what can I play here? Oh, well, I'll better play that blues scale, and I better do this, and I better do, you know. Anyway, I don't want to be waffling on too long, because I mean I could be harping on about this till the cows come home, but and, going dark now, so I think the cows are coming home anyway. So okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Welcome to all the new subscribers. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.